Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless is Captain Azariah here, and we got another edition of 15 Minutes with the Captains. Hey, so today we're going to touch on agree together. Yeah, we're going to deal with you husbands, we're going to deal with you wives, and how y'all deal with one another in your marriages. Watch this. Give me Sirach 25. Start at verse 1. Watch this.
Sirach chapter 25, verse 1.
Come on.
In three things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful both before God and men.
Come on.
The unity of
So
brethren.
God said there was three things he was beautified, and it stood up beautiful before God and man. It says the unity of brethren. Watch this, read.
The love of neighbors.
The love of neighbors. Come on.
A man and a wife that agree together.
But we want to touch on that last part. It says a man and a wife that agree together. What does that mean? What does it mean for a man and a wife to agree together? Agree together in what? And agree together according to what? Let's get that. Give me 1 Peter 3. Because what you're going to learn and understand that there's order and structure in everything, and it starts in the household. The agree together is the wife being in subjection to the husband, and the husband being in subjection to Christ. And we're going to read that. Give me 1 Peter chapter 3. Start at verse 5.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 5.
Because it's a beautiful thing to God when a husband and wife agree. Agree in what? Read that.
For after this manner in the old time of the holy women also, who trusted in God.
Who what?
Who trusted in God.
It says, for after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God. A lot of times the reason why you have issues and problems in your household, why the woman can't submit to the man, because they don't trust God. They don't trust God enough that God would put a righteous man in their life to lead them and to guide them. That's the first step. A woman got to trust in God enough to know that, okay, this man is righteous. I fear God enough to know he will put somebody in my life that's going to lead me according to the scriptures. It says in old time, the women trusted in God, read.
Adorn themselves.
It says adorn themselves. Hold on, I want to stress that. Read that again. Read that again. I want to stress that adorn themselves real quick. Read that again.
Adorned themselves.
What does it mean to adorn themselves? Hey, get Sirach 36. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you husbands, y'all can contest to this right here. Don't no husband want to come home to their wife busted. Today they walk in the house, they just had a long day of work. They freaking putting in hours, freaking fighting Esau, slave and all that, and they come home to the freaking hair bonnet and freaking pajamas. No, it says they adorned themselves. Watch this, read that.
Sirach chapter 36, verse 22.
Come on.
The beauty
the
of
what?
a woman.
The what?
Beauty.
It says the beauty. That's what it means to adorn themselves. Adorn means to beautify, to look good, to beautify the appearance. It says the beauty, read.
Of a woman cheereth the countenance.
So that's how our foremothers adorn themselves. It says the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance. It makes a man feel good when he walk in the house like, damn, man, it's been a hard day of work. You walk in the house, you see your wife, she looking good, smelling good. You smell the food, it's smelling good. It says the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance. Come on.
And a man loveth nothing better.
It says, and a man loveth nothing better. What we're going into is that agreeing together, the attributes a woman, and we're going to touch on the man in a second too, but a woman is supposed to have in the Lord. It says, the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance. A man loveth nothing better. Come on.
If there be kindness.
There be what?
Kindness.
Don't nobody want to hear no loud black woman. We understand that. Women don't understand your power is in shutting the hell up. All right, so hey, go back to 1 Peter 3. That's how our foremothers in old time adorned themselves. It says the beauty of a woman cheereth the counsel with kindness, with meekness, with and things of that nature. That's how our foremothers adorned themselves. Go back.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 5.
Come on.
For after this manner.
And keep in mind, what we're touching on is how a husband and a wife agree together, because the agreement is supposed to be in the Lord. What are the roles that a man and a woman are supposed to have in this truth? Keeping God's commandments. That's the agreeing together. Watch this, read.
For after this manner in the old time, The holy women also, who trusted in God,
Come on.
adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their
It
own
says
husbands.
adorn themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. And that's hard for a lot of black women, especially in Babylon, because Babylon has taught you that you can be independent. You supposed to be the head of the house. You the one. Remember, whenever the police come to the house, the first person when they come to the black community, who do they ask for? They ask for what Big Mama at, what a black woman at. That's who they talk to first, because in black society, in America, and in all these other countries, it is taught put the black woman at the top. But that ain't biblical. That ain't according to the Bible. It says what? That bottom part, being in subjection unto who?
Unto their own husbands.
That's agreeing together. Understand that. And that's beautiful to God. Watch this. Get 1 Corinthians 11. We coming back here. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Start at verse 1.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1.
Come on.
Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
Come on. Hey, the Bible says be ye follower. This is Paul speaking. He said, follow me as I follow Christ. Watch this.
Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things.
Come on.
And keep the ordinances.
And keep what?
The ordinances.
Keep the ordinances. Tell your Christian pastor this. Who got the black woman sitting in the side with the big hat on, or got the woman teaching in the church. It says keep the ordinances thereof. Read on.
As I delivered them to you.
Come on.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every man is Christ. Christ is the man's head. Come on.
And the head of the woman is the man.
It says what?
The head of the woman is the man.
One more time. Just
the
in case they didn't hear
head
it.
of the woman is the man.
It says the head of the woman is man. And guess what? That's beautiful to God. Go back. 1 Corinthians. This is something our people have not learned, especially in the Christian church. How to agree together. And it's according to the scriptures. Go back, 1
Peter chapter 3, verse 6.
Come on.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham.
Come on.
Calling him Lord.
Calling him Lord. I know that seems foreign to a black woman. Call my husband Lord. Call a man Lord. Now, I only got one Lord, and that's Christ. And yes, Christ is the Lord, but so is your husband. He's your Lord. He's Christ in your house. That's the order. God, Christ, man, woman. And that's beautiful to God. Come on, read on.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are.
Whose daughters ye are. The black woman is the daughters of Sarah. Read.
As long as ye do well.
If you do well. And doing well is what? Submitting to your husband. It's a beautiful thing to God when a husband and wife agree together. And your agreement is in submission to your husband. Read on.
And are not
Watch,
afraid.
He's going to say that. Read on.
And are not afraid with any amazement.
And you shouldn't be afraid, regardless of what society says, because society will make you feel like you a slave. Society will make you feel like you belittling yourself. Society will make you feeling like it is the worst thing on earth to be in submission to your man. No, you shouldn't be afraid of that. Why? Because it's beautiful to God when you're in submission to your husband. It is beautiful to God when a husband and wife agree together. Read on.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
And now likewise, it says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. Because as a husband, you are now that woman's Lord in the house. You got to teach her. You got to feed her. You got to build her up scripturally. It says, dwell with her according to knowledge. Not according to your hands, not according to your fist, not being a tyrant, not being a freaking lion in the house. Watch this. Give me Sirach 36. Let's go back to Sirach 36. Read verse 24 this time, because it says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. And we understand that knowledge, according to Malachi 2:7, is the laws of God. Let's dig into it a little bit. Give me Sirach 36, read verse 24.
Sirach chapter 36, verse 24.
We almost done. Come on.
He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
It says, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. This is dwelling with them according to knowledge. You understand that I got this woman and I got to provide. I got to take care of this woman. I got to build this and mold this woman into the daughter of Sarah she's supposed to be. And how you do that? With the scriptures. It says, he that beginneth a wife beginneth a possession. Come on.
A help like unto himself.
And guess what? That wife is supposed to be a help. A help. A lot of our sisters don't understand that. You're supposed to be a helper to your husband. It ain't the other way around. It's for you supposed to be the help that's good for him. And your wife is supposed to be like unto you. Read on.
And a pillar of rest.
And that woman's supposed to be a pillar of rest. Not a pillar of stress. A pillar of rest. Read on.
Where no hedges, the possession is spoiled.
It says where no man is, where no hedge is, where no understanding is, the possession is spoiled. That's why you see these black women saying all type of crazy stuff, because they ain't got no hedge, no real hedge according to this Bible. But it says he that beginneth a wife beginneth a possession. Because think about it as a husband. You get a car, right? You got a car, right? Okay. You got to change the oil. You got to make sure there's gas in the car. You got to make sure that it gets a tune up. Things are working properly. That's the same thing with a husband dealing with his wife. That's how you dwell with them according to knowledge. So go back. Matter of fact, before that, give me Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5:25. Let's get some more. Dwell in them according to knowledge. Ephesians 5, verse 25.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25.
Come on.
Husbands, love your wives.
Come on.
Even as Christ also loved the church.
That's dwelling with them according to knowledge. It says, husbands, love your wives even as Christ loved the church. And what did Christ do? He fed the church. He taught the church. He died for the church. It says, husbands, love your wives even as Christ loved the church. Now, for you women, ain't no man want to die for a loud black woman. I just want to say that straight. That's why both have to be in order. Women, you got to get yourself together. You got to learn how to be submissive. You got to learn how to be kind, affectionate, meek, dealing with your husband as your Lord. And likewise, you husbands. He says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. You got to deal with them like Christ dealt with the church. That's to agree together. And that's beautiful before God. Read on. Is there more on that?
Yes. As Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
There you go. And gave himself for it. Come on.
That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
And that's what us as husbands have to do with our wives. We got to cleanse them with the word. It says that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. That's how you dwell with them according to knowledge. Go back.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7.
Come on.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the weaker vessel.
Come on.
Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life.
Because we're heirs together of the grace to life. Read. Of life. Read.
That your prayers be not hindered.
Because a lot of times the reason why things ain't going right in households, you sitting at the prayers are hindered because you don't agree together. You ain't applying these principles to your life as a husband and as a wife. The wife is loud. The wife don't respect her husband. Or flip side, the husband's abusive. He don't know how to deal with his wife. All he want to do is cuss her out and belittle her. We got to dwell with each other in our proper roles. And that's beautiful to God. And guess what? Your prayers aren't hindered when you rolling like that. Read on.
Finally, be all of one mind.
It says be all of what?
One mind.
It says be all of one mind. What's the one mind? We read it in 1 Corinthians 11. The head of the man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man. That's the one mind. The woman's mind is supposed to be after the man. And then because the man's mind is supposed to be after Christ. That's the one mind. It ain't the woman, I got my own mind. I got my own thoughts. I got my own opinions. No, your mind is supposed to be after your husband's. That's the agreeing together. You're agreeing together after your husband. But Babylon has taught you that you could be independent. That's why our women all jack the hell up. It says, be ye all of what?
One mind.
Read.
Having compassion one of another.
We're supposed to have compassion one of another. Come on.
Love as brethren.
It says what?
Love as
It
brethren.
says love as brethren. Watch this. I'm going to show you something heavy. Give me Sirach 40 and 23. We're almost done. I know I just said that, but we're almost done. Read that. It says love as brethren, because he's still dealing with the husband and the wife, but he's telling them to love as brethren. Read that.
Sirach chapter 40, verse 23. A friend and companion never meet amiss.
The scriptures say a friend and a companion never meet amiss, but watch this.
But above both.
It says above what?
Above both.
Above a friend and a companion, read.
Is a wife with her husband.
Is a wife with her husband. That's why it says love as brethren. That's supposed to be, that person knows you the best because you're around each other 24/7. They know you inside. A husband knows his wife, and a wife knows his husband. What the evil they doing and the good they doing. So you're supposed to love as brethren. It shouldn't be constantly arguments and y'all can't stand each other. You're supposed to be able to get over and forgive one another, just like brethren do. Yeah, you might have issues, but you deal with it according to the scriptures, and then you move on. You don't hold grudges. A brother can have an issue with another brother. We deal with it. Matthew 18, Proverbs 9. Get past it, and then have a drink with one another and be joking and going through the scriptures like nothing happened. That's how a husband and a wife is supposed to move. You're supposed to love as brethren. But what'll happen? A wife will get mad. She'll hold a grudge for 2 years. Husband, he can't stand his wife every time he walk in, so now he picking fights and argument. That ain't how we supposed to move as repented Israelites in this truth. Because it's beautiful to God when a husband and wife agree together. Go back.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. Finally, be all of one mind, having compassion one of another.
Come on.
Love as brethren. Be pitiful.
Be pitiful, forgiving. Come on.
Be courteous.
Courteous. Know how to deal with one another. Read.
Not rending evil for evil.
That's how you love his brethren. You don't render evil for evil. Come on.
Or railing for railing.
Shouldn't be arguing, going back and forth. And a lot of times the reason why arguments start is because the husband will give an order and the women won't like it. They'll have their own opinion of how they see things. It says not railing for railing, read.
But contrariwise.
Contrariwise, read.
Blessing.
Read.
Knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
Because once we apply all these things, we understand that we will inherit a blessing. Because it's a beautiful thing in the sight of God when a husband and a wife agree together. So all praise be to the Most High God. I pray y'all got some understanding out of today's 15 minutes with the captain. Shalom.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example.